the gift of grace and keep our faith in God, then we can have the victory.
That's right.
And there's something about the word when you hear the sound victory. It doesn't have to be a football game to make your heart beat fast. But when we know that we are a child of God and we have an opportunity to have the victory in this life, no one goes to heaven unless they intend to. No matter how much love we have, it's up to us to choose to use it in the right way. My love for God, my love for Jesus is the kind of love that I feel that I don't do enough to show how much I appreciate what God has done, not only in my life, but in the lives of people that I see are blessed. The last thing that I'm going to say, I told Pastor Hayes the other day I was going to share this, and miracles still happens.
Yes, they do.
Miracles and blessings still happen. Now, living in Menifee and Paris and Marietta, you can understand what I'm talking about when I talk about heat. The temperature on my back patio on Tuesday at 3 in the afternoon was about 114 degrees. The night before, when the temperature was about 103, my air conditioner stopped working. So I called my son and told him, he said, well, call Pastor Hayes, get the name of the repair people that did the air conditioning for the church. So that night I just opened the window, put on a fan, because I get up early every morning. And this was after 9, and so I went to bed. So when I woke up at 4:30, I mean, it was hot. And I did my regular routine. And I said, well, I'll give Pastor Hayes a call after 7. So about 10 minutes to 7, I heard a noise at my door, and I go out, and you're probably familiar with this. There was this guy putting on my door what they call coupon, or door hangers, or door savers, and then there's different things that are used to advertise. So I took it off, and I was going to call Pastor Hayes, and then the first thing I turned to was about air condition repair. So, and it was in Marietta. So, considering the basic law of our economy, supply and demand, now it's hot. Everybody is probably having some other problems, so the price of repairs are going to go up. Then you got to deal with people that are dishonest.
Yep.
So I called this company, and I made an appointment, and I said, I'll be back home by 3:30. And I said, well, make it 4 because there's a lot of traffic. She said, well, I got an appointment at 4 too. So I made the appointment. The guy was 2 hours late coming, and when he came, on the air condition, it's called a furnace, because in the attic, there's a unit that produces the heat when it's cold, and you have a unit outside. So he goes up in the attic, and when he comes down, he says to me, well, I got good news, but no, I got all bad news. Okay. So I said, well, what is it? When he came in, he had a backpack on, I guess with his tools and so forth, but also there was a book in there with prices. He took out the book and he turned to a page and he showed me, he said, this is what you gotta have. And the price beside that unit was $883. And I said to him, I don't have to have that. I can just get me another fan. And I was really serious. I've been in a lot of heat. So he said, well, the other problem is, the owner's place, he said, you have the name of your unit is a York. And I'll have to call New York to get the part, and it's too late now because they're closed. But I need to know because I have to call them in the morning in order to get the part tomorrow. And you have to give me a deposit on it. I said, no. I said, I'm going to call you tomorrow morning and tell you what I have decided. So those of you that know my son, you know my son and I are very close. Very close.
Amen.
I called my son and I told him about it, and he said to me, he said, yeah, call him in the morning and tell him that you're not going to do it now, because you're not, but you're going to get a second opinion. And he said, I guarantee you he'll call you back within an hour and give you a better price. So the next morning I called. Now I prayed about my air conditioning before I even called him when it first broke. I prayed about it after he came and said that. I called at 7 o'clock and I told him, I said, Matt, I made a decision. I'm getting a second opinion. And he said, well, okay. I said, so I'll talk to you once I decide. So I hung up the phone and I started my routine. 10 minutes later, my phone rang, and with the, when you can look and see who's calling, I looked there, that was Matt. So I answered the phone. And I want you to scrutinize what I'm going to say. Okay? See if your thinking runs along like mine. He answered the phone. I answered the phone and I said, yes. He said, guess what? He said, the crew just came in and they brought in some scrap air conditioners that they just replaced some new ones. And one of them is a York. And it was working when they took it out. He said, I can't sell you a used part, but if this part works, it'll make your air conditioning work. And if you want it in, I just have to charge you for a service call. My first service call was $47.50, and they deduct that from the next service call when you have something done. So I said, well, if it works, of course. And he said, I said, I'll be back this evening by 4. He said, I'm only 5 minutes away.